Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetle. Popcorn? Tim Burton had a great time in the Addams Family world, and you probably missed this sneaky Beetlejuice Easter egg. Netflix's runaway success Wednesday has a lot of secrets. Based on the Addams Family daughter of the same name, played by Jenna Ortega, Wednesday places the iconic character into Nevermore Academy, a school that holds a special place in the history of the spooky family on account of Gomez and Morticia having met there. Of course, one of the best people to bring this new Wednesday show to the small silver screen is the legendary Tim Burton. Made famous for his endeavors like Edward Scissorhands, Batman, and Beetlejuice, Burton has a rather distinct style that is almost immediately apparent to anybody who has had any previous experience with the director.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Speaking with Empire, Tim Burton spoke about what inspired him to take on Wednesday and explained, "When I read the script, it just spoke to me about how I felt in school and how you feel about your parents, how you feel as a person. It gave the Addams Family a different kind of reality. It was an interesting combination." Tim Burton and the Addams Family is definitely an interesting combination. And considering the status of Burton's works in pop culture, it's no surprise that Wednesday is filled to the brim with clever callbacks and nods to his other movies. Throughout Wednesday, there are tons of Easter eggs inspired by Tim Burton's other famous works, which was very intentional. Production designer Mark Scroon delighted in filling scenes with homages to Burton's body of work. One particular location in Wednesday that's absolutely adorned with Burton references is the Weathervanes coffee shop that many Nevermore Academy students frequent. If you pay close attention, you can see that the Weathervanes channel is the essence of two Burton movies. One is inspired by the Headless Horseman from Sleepy Hollow, and one emulates the hat from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. However, these two examples were far from the only Easter eggs, and there were several that were explicitly designed to reference previous Addams Family shows and movies like Pilgrim World and the archery scene, which are nods to Camp Chippewa in Addams Family values and Wednesday's well-known affinity for archery.
It's an American bald eagle.
But aren't they extinct?
They are now.
And the secret way into Nevermore Academy's secret society consists of the two finger snaps made popular by the Addams Family theme song. Of course, one cannot put Burton-based Easter eggs in Wednesday without involving the ghost with the most. Released in 1988, Beetlejuice tells the story of a recently deceased couple, played by Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, who has to come to terms with their status as ghosts and the family that moves into their house. Seeking to restore their former peace and ownership of the home, the previously mentioned couple conjures up a bio-exorcist known as Beetlejuice. Considering the lasting popularity of Beetlejuice among Tim Burton's fans, it makes perfect sense as to why there are multiple Beetlejuice references in Wednesday.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
Probably the easiest of these references is the shrunken head that resembles the big game hunter in the afterlife waiting room from Beetlejuice upon the desk of Principal Weems. However, there is a more subtle reference in Wednesday that emulates the famous white and black striped suit made popular by Beetlejuice. In episode 7 titled, "If You Don't Woe Me By Now," Wednesday and Tyler watch the supposed horror movie Legally Blonde while eating popcorn at Crackstone's crypt. However, eagle-eyed viewers, or those with their brightness settings turned up, may notice that the popcorn bag has the same color scheme and look as Beetlejuice's typical suit, which was definitely intentional. Luckily for Wednesday and Tyler, they weren't immediately compelled to sing "Day-o," though this is a great Easter egg for longtime fans of Burton.